you had to qualify or something? Okay, great. And I don't mean you have to qualify to talk to me. I'm just saying it's great that you stretch to qualify for something to get to different levels. You never know. Look, I've been in business 40 years. Okay, so in that time frame, you see a lot. Things change. Technology changes, but people don't. Okay, I promise you. It's the exact same. I mean, it just does not change. So, because human nature is still human nature, right? And your biggest challenge is going to be accepting that. Okay, not trying to change people. One advice I can give you is, which I look back and say, what could you have done differently? What could you have, everybody could do things differently. But the challenge is, the greatest gift you have is not only you, what you're going to do for your family, which is awesome and focused, but the other one is your ability to get really good at transferring stuff. Okay, and to be good at transferring it, you have to be good. Now, just because you're good doesn't mean you transfer. There's a lot of people that are really good that don't have anybody underneath them, right? I mean, that's just, they're very good. They're very good at the business, and they make money. But well, let me ask you, what do you think is the most exciting thing, and you guys, some know it, some don't. These are not like gotcha questions, I'm just curious. What do you think is the most exciting thing about Primerica from a compensation standpoint? Okay, now, but okay, people say that, and I know you know. So the question is, do you really understand that? Because you're not here to sell insurance securities. We do that, and we help people. It's awesome. What we do for people is incredible. It's been incredible for 40 years. The market has actually gotten bigger in those 40 years when I started. Okay, it's bigger. That means more people are broke than they ever were. Agree? Okay. I mean, wars, economy, presidents. I mean, you can cut off through all the crap. 40 years, it all happens. And so I see so many people get caught up in outside things, which I understand, but they get caught up in the outside things of the world a lot. And I'm not saying not being aware. I'm not saying not pay attention. But the longest distance, I guarantee you this, the longest distance you'll ever travel in Primerica is right here. It's 6 inches in your head. This is the battleground. And so a lot of people come to the business, most people come to business that have never been, they might have been successful in what they did. Great. They might have been achievers in what they did. But in this realm, and they can take a lot from that, but in this realm, to be really financially done. I mean, my goal when I came in, when I saw it, I saw a meeting. I was talking to people earlier, and I'll hit this quick because we continue this. But when I saw that, I didn't know anything about anything. I was 23. I wanted to start a fitness business. I wanted to do something else, and I saw this as a way to make money to do that. That's all I saw. Until I really started observing what was going on, and then they started talking about terminology I'd never heard before. Okay, and not only the insurance, the investments, all that, I got that pretty fast. I mean, I thought, well, that's awesome. If that's what it really is, your whole life and all the bad stuff, and most people don't have any insurance. Okay, I got it, right? It was I never wanted. I love the fitness industry. I wanted to be at that, but it required capital. I didn't have it. So, and there's like a story that it was clear. And so when I came here, but what I heard here was that overrides and passive income. That's what I heard. And the people that I went and saw, and I earned the right just like you guys do, the ones that I was around had done that. And their life was amazing. Okay, now they had problems, they have health, you know, when I say amazing, I mean, but one thing that was off the box is money. And they had override income. And that income came in whether they were there or not. And I had never seen that. I had never been, it just blew my mind actually, because I just thought, well, that can't be right, because I've never heard that. Well, why would I? I grew up in a less than middle American environment. Everybody worked for money. Everybody didn't have any money. So money was not something that people were bragging about. They were always concerned about it, right? Or lack of. And that's life, right? But then I got around people and they were like, wow, just talking about actual building income that comes in when they're not there. And when you think about that, there's only two ways to do that, okay? either have people working with you and for you, or money working with you and for you, right? I mean, if somebody has 50 condo buildings, or whatever you want to call it, they have things working for them, is that correct? Mm-hmm. And that generates income to them passively. They say, well, they have a life. Yeah, but they have to generate that. How they got that money, I don't know. It doesn't matter. All I know is they have things. And to get things that generate you income, or money that generates you income, a lot in savings, right? For example, it takes what? Money. So they say, well, that leaves me out. And then I realized here that they were talking about, no, as you build income, you also can build a massive passive income. And it just wasn't based on, well, it was not based for most people who came on board, it wasn't their income or their money. Because they had none. When I say had none, relatively speaking, right? They could not stop working and live off their money the way they want to the rest of their life. That's facts, right? So, so when I got here, that was, I saw that, whoa, I mean, until you have the assets, you build the people, because the only two ways you get passive income is assets or people. So if you see somebody that has a lot of passive income, they usually have a business, would you agree? And that business usually has what? People. And those people are successful at some level. Not all, right? You have factories. Think about anything you want to think about. You say, man, I wish I could do that. The challenge is for most people to do that requires money. And you have to borrow it. You've never, I just attempted that early on when I got in, and I wanted to open a Gold's Gym, and it was $200,000 to even look at the franchise. And there's nothing online, it's all by mail. But and I remember getting a letter saying, yeah, we would like to take your application for a Gold's Gym. It's $200,000. Well, for me, that was like $2 million. All right, I mean, I had $200. I was missing zeros, literally. Right, the important zeros, right? Not zero, but the zeros on the other side, right? And I realized immediately when I saw that, I was like, damn, okay, I have a problem. Because goals, dreams, drives, all that, life's done me wrong. I don't know if I was just wired. I think part of it, I was desperate, okay? He said, what was your goals? It was not to be broke anymore. That was a basic goal, right? And I love the fact that we can help people. And I love the fact that if they listen to us, and not everybody does, and all that, but I realized if they did that, we said, it's going to be great for them for the next 20, 30 years, and they do it, they're going to be okay. They're going to be better, which is awesome, right? I mean, to me, I was proud of that. I wasn't doing it right at the moment, right, and where I want to, but that was the vehicle. But the compensation was the driver. I mean, not to make money, because I don't care about making money when you're not going to make it. Okay? I mean, if you say, well, money's not important to me, then you're not going to make it, because then you're not going to attack the system in a way that helps you generate income. So for me, that was the dawning of like, wow, different language, different people, and of course, immediately, just like everybody else, you go talk to your friends and family about it, and they're like, that doesn't exist, can't happen.
Yeah, right.
And the truth is, in their life, it can. I mean, because how do you have passive income? You have a job. You don't. So they can't relate. And I realized, wow, I picked the hardest thing is getting people in the front end that are the right people to buy into doing something here. So why would they do that? Why would those people buy in? Because they have a burning desire to do something in their life. Or they have a burning desire to not be broke anymore. Or fill their gas tank up instead of getting a quarter tank. You know what I mean? I mean, pick whatever it is, right? And I'll show you some slides that they're going to have later. Just real quick, it's not that. But anyway, so the bottom line is, I was speaking earlier to the group I was talking to, but the great thing about Primerica was that, honestly, it was such a level playing field. And I mean level because immediately I saw all walks, religions, creeds, colors. It was a rainbow, man. You know, I mean, of all kinds. And they were winning. Not everyone were winning, but the ones that were working on this and applying that were winning. And I said, oh, I could do that. And discipline was not my issue when I came here. Some people it is an issue. Understanding people was a massive thing for me because I just thought everybody would think like I thought. I just thought it was just natural. Of course, who would want to do this? Right? This is amazing. And you realize people look at you and they just say things that you shake your head. It's like, yeah, but you can't do it. Or they say, I really got to win. I really want to. But they don't got it. And you can't give them the gotta.
That's right.
See, that's the thing.
That's true.
So I would say to you that you invest in people, but you invest in the proportion they're investing back in themselves. Very important. Because you can't change another human being. Have you figured that out?
Yep.
You can't change your spouse. Hard enough to change your kids, you have to threaten them, right? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I mean, you know, it's carrot and stick. Oh, you know, it's like a lot more carrot than stick, but, you know, that's the way it is. And so, that's different, man. It's different. And so you have to really conceptualize that in your mind. Because I think you drive in the beginning because of pain, okay? You're trying to get from a place you're at. You're here and you want to be here. And you look around and you're like, there was no other vehicle. It wasn't like 30 things were doing this. It was different, and for most people that difference was, it was just so different that I'd rather be broke. And for me, it was so different that, wow, it made sense. And everything I went through here, like everybody else, I learned quickly that there was a logical reason for what was happening. I'm a numbers person. I've always been a numbers person. And so, I don't want to talk about that real quick about that. So, so what I didn't need, what Primerica didn't have to give me is discipline. Now, some people, they need to learn a little discipline, right? But if someone has any track record at all in their life of doing anything that causes them to stretch, anything, sports, school, pass an exam, if there's always something, hopefully, that you have that you said, when I was on it and I was focused and I was maniacal, I could make that happen, right? I mean, that's how it is. And so I just transferred that to here. Okay, I didn't transfer any knowledge of all the things, but I could transfer that, and that was the 6 inches here. And I realized most people hadn't done that, and then and if they hadn't, it's very difficult for them to learn, right? And guess what? I can't teach them that because that has to do with drive. So you know, in the beginning, so that's why like people that are just visiting spare time. I mean, spare time means they hear everything we're saying. They just don't apply it. That's why I said they've heard it 50 times. They're just, in their life, they're not in enough pain to change. People change for 3 reasons. Never forget this. This is exactly how it is. 40 years, thousands of people. And I don't think it's Primerica, I think it's everybody. People change because they know enough, number one.
Yes.
Okay? They have to know more to change. Would you agree? They see
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Something's different. Like I saw override. Wow, that's new. Then I saw people getting overrides. That works. And then I said, they have a team. That's all these things, right? You start to connect the dots. Don't know exactly how to do it all, but they literally don't know enough. That's part of it. But that's, a lot of people know more and don't do it. Okay?
That's right.
So I'm saying there's 100%. Those are the 3
Yeah.
in that category. Second one is they care enough. They care enough about their family. They care enough about their parents. They care enough. Something drives them past their own personal listening,
Right.
and those people, so they care enough. And then the last thing, but the most important one, and the one that matters the most, is they hurt enough. That's 85% of the 100. When I say hurt, I'm not trying to inflict pain. I'm saying if you don't hurt in a way about really it hurts you, that this is bullshit. This is not how it's supposed to be. And then if you have no examples, then you immediately think, well, I guess it's supposed to be that way. But then you get here and you realize, holy crap, there's examples. Oh, there's somebody in this business, there's somebody who is worse than you by factors that are kicking ass. Have more trials and tribulations than you have. Everything's yours to yours personally, right? I'm not knocking your own, but somebody's kicking ass.
Right.
The worst conditions. And we all have our crucible, right? We all say, well, you don't know, poor for me, right? If there's a pity party, I'm the first person to invite, right? It's great. I guess I gotta hear my story. And then I realized, it doesn't matter, Bruce, it's right here, and that's the old me, and I'm creating a new me. You're the same you, but you're creating a new you, new habits, new things that are focused on building a business and ultimately getting overrides. And you did that because other people are more successful, right? Than you do. Awesome. So you gotta hurt. Here's what you can't do. You can't make somebody hurt. Okay? They say they hurt, they don't. How do you know they don't hurt enough? Because they don't do anything. They don't. If they know and they care, that's what? What percent? 15%. The other 85% is they don't hurt enough. You can't, listen to me, you can't make somebody hurt. We're not their boss, and you can make people hurt by what? Yell at them, right? You could make people hurt by cutting their pay, cutting their territory, telling them threats, right? That's not how our thing works. By the way, it doesn't change the person, it just changes their behavior temporarily, right? That's what it changes. It's easy. That's what I've managed a lot of people. That's great, but that's not our business, is managing a lot of people. It's building independent people that manage themselves. Now, that they have to have, so what you try to do is you try to impose that on people and try to get it. Why don't you get it? And you never give up on people too early, but spare time people, they listen. Sometimes they show up. Do we like those people? We love those people. Then it goes from part-time, spare time to part-time. And what's the difference in a part-time and a spare time? Or what would you think? Schedule. Sure, they are scheduled. They have beginning stage of discipline. If they say I'm part-time in Primerica, which means I can come to the Tuesday meetings, I can come to the Saturday class, I can devote this much time. Why are they part-time? They got money needs. And Primerica can't fix those right now. Would you agree with that? Bills to pay, kids to feed, things going on. Their bills don't change if they walk in Primerica. Every problem they got still got a problem, right? I mean, until they win here, and then you might have problems, but money's not going to be one of them. Okay? And I don't care if money's not important. Yes, it is. Okay? Because money, and I'm not about, but what I found is when you have money, a lot of it, and grow a lot of it, and grow a business that pays you a lot of it, it allows you to do the things you want, whenever you want, and especially people you love the most. Nothing's bigger than that. Nothing's bigger than that. And I had no kids when I got in. I had 3 daughters and Bubba and the other all. And I was, we were just talking, it was the greatest gift you can give your kids is the mindset. It's just the mind, and you give that by them, you being an example of it, and also then work, but it'll be the greatest gift. It'll compound so much, it's unbelievable. So the byproduct of one of the things of being here is the people and the places and the people you help around will be awesome. By the way, in every family, somebody's got to be the go-to person. Would you agree? It's exhausting, right? They have to be the go-to person. And in my family tree, I was it. Because there was no cavalry coming. I'm not pinning me, I'm just saying, I grew up less than, we weren't poor, but we weren't military. I mean, so for me it was very visual, so I wasn't running towards something in the beginning. I was running away. I knew that didn't work. That's all I knew. And you could not convince me that 9 to 5, and work for somebody else. And so some of the best people we get are the people that get fired from a company. They did well, and now they're pissed off. And they got fired because it's hard to fire yourself. Okay? It's really, so all these things, so part-time, spare time, and then ultimately, when people are full-time, hearing is part-time, spare time. Listening is part-time and working through it, stumbling forward, messing up every day. Primerica is not happening to you, it's happening for you. When shit hits the fan, and it will, and things will be, the curve in Primerica is steep on the front end. But once you get critical mass, and everybody's different, it's astounding how things can change. But that's because somebody was on it when nobody was watching. And it's not just discipline, it's self-discipline, right? So, 6 inches. So full-timers, when people go full-time, and that's a big thing, guys. I was really good at helping people once I understood it to go full-time. Now I didn't make them full-time, but because I was looking for the man or woman who's ready to go all in. And because they say they're all in, does that mean they're all in? No, it means they're visiting. They're visiting. Is it okay to visit? Sure. And when somebody visits you, what happens? They eventually leave. Is that true? So they say, my best people quit. They weren't your best people. Okay, what they were people along the way that you've met that maybe you're a little better, but they weren't your best. or this guy's definitely going to be an SNSD. If I pick somebody in the beginning in my career that said, that guy's going to kill it, that guy quit immediately. I mean, it's amazing. I was so good at picking the ones because they look sharp, they did this, they said all the right words, they listened, they heard, they just didn't do. But I learned. And so that's why when I understood that I can't change human nature, my job is not to make them. It's to create an environment that allows anybody who walks in to win. And show examples of that. And I'm an example of that, right? Even at my level at the beginning. And the rest of it was the environment, right? Because I was down a bunch of times. But I'd come to a meeting, I didn't feel like it. But I never, here's the thing, I'll give you an example. I never missed a meeting from the day I walked in the door at Primerica for 7 years. Never missed a meeting. So it didn't matter to me. I mean, the only way they went to a meeting if nobody else showed. But why? Because I knew I could do that. That's something I could do. Did I want it? It's like if you work out. Do you want to work out every day? No. But after you work out, what do you feel? Awesome. Same thing here. I didn't feel like, I was down, I was getting my butt kicked, I didn't know what they wanted, I was frustrated. Welcome to the club. That's called the entry fee. That's called the ante. Awesome. Happy for you. I have no sympathy for you, I got complete empathy for you. I know. And everybody's ever walked in this door, sat in a seat by themselves. Every single person that has won has had every feeling that you have in their own way, in their own design. So you don't have any new feelings. They're new for you, but they're not new. They're not new. Okay, it is a track record. It is a cycle. And so in the beginning, when you're new and you're showing up, you guys are young, just get it. It's like my commitment was, I'm going to show up to everything like an animal. And I'm going to be excited for other people kicking my ass. Because they're the ones that are teaching me what I need to do differently. And I can be a great cheerleader before I can be a great player. But if you just want to be a player and not cheer for anybody else, because, by the way, they're not beating me. They are in the numbers, but I'm beating them. They're doing things I'm not. That's what you'll find out. And some of the things you don't even see. Why? Because where's it at? It's right here. They're doing the little, they're showing up, they're doing extra. And so not only, so showing up was massive. And then you show up and you try and you fail. Because you hear it. Listen, anything that you see that somebody's doing good, that you try, you're going to suck at. Somebody hits a great tennis ball. And you never played tennis. You don't look like that?
Yeah.
But they hit it so well, it looks what? Easy. That's what it's supposed to look like because they're great. They've had thousands of hours practicing. They hit the tennis ball at night, in the morning, right? No one ever knew. So, I would just say to you that that part of it is the only way. We have to frame your mind to that, learn, adjust. It's called BML. Build, measure, learn. Build, measure, learn. Building may be just going on a few appointments. What's the second part of that? Measure. 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 The greatest people at anything are maniacal at working on the little things when no one's watching. And it doesn't look like anything until it compounds out. It took me 6 months to go to district leader. I sucked. I had no market, had nothing. Right? In those 6 months, I was excited for other people's kicking ass because I wasn't, but I knew that once I could figure this out, hit critical mass, I would be better the next step. So it wasn't like I couldn't do it. A lot of people, I can't. You can do everything here. You can do everything here. The question is what? Choosing to. And getting after it and know. And there's some things in life there's no excuses. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. Like what would you say? Give me somebody that has no excuses for you. Work out. No excuse.
Take care of hygiene.
Take care of hygiene. Put your pants on in the morning before you go outside. I agree, man. These are simple things, right? So, and then as you raise up on the non-negotiables, they become more difficult because they're important. Like maybe it's raising great kids. Kids are kids. I mean, not perfect, but you know, maybe that's like my kids are going to have, and I realize it wasn't what you give them, it's what you install in the brain. It's programming. And how do they get that? By watching you. That's how they get it. Everything your kid does or doesn't do is they watch you. Right? Good or bad. And most of it's good, right? I'm not saying it's bad. But you're not sure, right? They're great mimickers. So if that's true, then man, to get freaking focused. And when I say build, when I say measure, Measure means write everything down.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean, well, I think I did that. Like if somebody says they work out to me, and let's forget a serious workout talk. If they don't show me in writing their routine and exactly what they did last week, they ain't working out for me. Why? Because they're not measuring it, they're doing it. And it's better than what? Not doing it. But if you get serious about something, you measure it. I was with a golfing guy many years ago, and he was good. And every time he took a shot, he had a book, he opened it up, and he wrote down the shot exactly what it did. And I said, well, that's why he's good. Because not only is he working at it, he's measuring it. Because just working hard is not enough. You have to measure it. And by the way, when you're new, there's a lot to measure. I mean, it's a target-rich environment. And it's like, I'm screwing up everything. No, Primerica is not happening to you. It's happening for you to measure it. And then what's the next word? Learn. Learn means apply.
That's right.
It's not a theoretical. So if you start to make the same mistakes over and over, that's not the business. Okay? You're not winning. Okay? You're torturing yourself. Just help you, right? You're trying to figure out a way the way you did it works. And I already know every other way that doesn't work because I'm good at finding out what doesn't work for me before I came here. So that measuring it and learning. So for example, if I asked you as full-time people want to do this business, and some of you don't have a track record, you've been here 3 weeks, 1 month. But you know what? You do have a track record. You've been here a week. What'd you do last week? Right? What'd you do? You say, well, I tried it. No, that's not what I just said. I said, did you write down what you did and really look at it? Well, it depresses me. What's going to depress you when it doesn't get better? That's much more depressing. Primerica doesn't work. No, Primerica works 100% of the time it's applied. Mutual funds don't work. They work 100% if you put money in them. They don't work if you haven't thought of it, right? Insurance works 100% if you get it. It doesn't work at all if you don't get it, right? This business works 100%. One thing, listen, when you really conceptualize this, and you got to work in your head, you have to be completely secure in Primerica is going to be here for you. It's an $8 billion company. 40 years I've sent a check to Primerica. Every time I've sent a check to Primerica for 40 years, guess what they send? Check back. Every time a client has sent a check, they send me a check. Every time a person I teach does the business, they do the business, they send me a check. Every time. Primerica's paid me $40 million. You say, well, will they do it? Don't worry about that. When people say, in the gym, say, well, I don't want to work out, I don't want to get too much muscle. And I was used to be a trainer. I said, don't worry, you're safe. I'm really safe. Don't fear that, okay? Because, and I didn't say because you're not working out, but I'd say, well, what if you're going to work harder? You're going to know your numbers. You're going to, right? If somebody's really into health and they want to get healthier and they're working out, do they also watch what they eat? I'm not busting anybody about that, but because it's combined. Because you don't want to work out so hard and not get, because you got, right? So you start to, and the more serious you are, the more that happens. Primerica is the exact same way. So your job is to help people understand the numbers. The numbers will set you free. The sooner you explain to a person the numbers, the sooner you're going to find out if you have a numbers-driven person. Not the whole Primerica game plan, but the number required. So you got to know the number. So people are frustrated most of the time, either not working or what? They don't understand our numbers. I talked to 3 people, nobody did it. Right? High five. Right? I mean, that's not our numbers. Yeah, but they should. I'm not a psychologist. Time out. I don't know how to do it. Really, you got to do it. My wife wouldn't let me go. Time out. I'm not a marriage counselor. I have no idea about your relationship. You can't get caught up. Now, if I had some money for gas, okay, time out. I can't help you with that. I can't give you money for gas. Go do something part-time. These are small. You just got to. You can't allow. I'm not saying you don't like people and be around people. All I'm saying is you just have to be careful what you're around. So they know the numbers, but this is more important after knowing. What would be a number for a new person? What would they be? And why? Say, why do I double-digit recruit?
Because the people
because it's called the Pareto principle. 20% of the people do 80% of the work. We hired 10. Here's how it works. They all want to win. That's why they gave it an IBA. Would you agree? I want to win. That's as far as they go. Seriously, I want to win. I got to show up. I got to try. I got to get better. I got to fail. What are you talking about? I thought I was in overrides. That's how they're saying it. Where's my money?
Right.
I mean, I get it. But out of 10, 2 are going to actually come through the pipeline. Why? Because that's called the Pareto principle. It's been around for 100 years. It's humans. How come they all don't do it? I don't know. But my job is not to make the other 8 do it. My job is to give them a good experience, do everything I can for them, not baby them. And so to get to the 2 that, what? Probably they listen, and now they're what? Hearing, and now what are they doing? Applying. So the truth is, don't know the numbers, but then accepting the numbers. Because if you don't know the numbers, like in the beginning, what do you get instead of numbers? You get frustration. You become, why are people? You don't get paid for why are people. Like, why do people? I have no freaking idea. Do you know what you don't even know what the person sitting next to you is thinking right now. You don't know what your wife or husband's thinking. Right? So that's not what you do. It's you work it, you accept the numbers. That's what it is. Why? Because that's what it is. That's the road to get wealthy. And then you work the numbers after accepting them. Most people hear them, they don't accept them, so they don't work them, and then they quit. And then when you work them, and you work them methodically, and you help other people get it, the ones that are going to stick, you can get wealthy. Really wealthy. Overnight? No, never been. We teach our clients 7 to 10 years how to get wealthy. I mean, 20, 30 years, right? Mutual funds. It works. Ours, but I came to Primerica to knock it out in 7 to 10. Why? Because it allowed me to build people until the money got there. And if people can wait for 30, I'm happy for it, because they're our clients. But if you said, I don't want to wait, I was 23. I want to be done at 30. That's what I wanted. That's what I desired. Okay? So, so the whole recruiting process, it starts with setting your mind on what you're doing, or else you're going to get frustrated. What people think or do is none of your opinion. It really isn't. What's your job? You're a sorter. Your job is to get people exposed to the system. After that, what's your job after that? Well, encourage, all those things. But if they don't show up to the system, can they win?
No.
Okay. If a person has an IBA, when do they don't show up usually? The first day.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Not a thing. What's wrong with the system? Not a thing. It's perfect. So I'm not trying to make some. Why don't they show up? I don't know. But did you guys show up?
Yes.
That's what I figured out. I just showed up. Why? Because I heard enough. I heard enough to show up. I didn't have plan B. I had a lot of desire and no vehicle. And I knew it because I looked at my wallet. Right? I mean, it's kind of simple, right? Go look at your wallet. If you got all the money in the world, if you're rich, you're not going to do Primerica. Why? Because it requires a lot of work, and if you already have capital, why do you need to do it again? This is designed for people like me that had no capital, but had the work, a way to get to the capital, building people first until it built income. And income as you went along, right? So that's the whole ball of wax, man. So, and that's how, so you see, double digit, 100%. But the problem, most people after they hire the first 3, they quit because those people quit. They were confused on our system. And I need to tell them that most aren't going to do it. Why? What percentage of people in this country would you consider wealthy? Well, really well, like a million, they say they make $1 million a year.
1%.
Yeah, 1.1%. It's like 1. It's what makes $1 million. How many make it passively? A lot less, right? So this is. And if they can do it passively, what have they done? They've created a lot of money, and not have to be there. Awesome. What else did it? They built a business that works around out there. Great. Could be any kind of business. So that's not your job. So when you release yourself from expectations that they're going to be a winner, but treat everybody like they could be a winner,
Right.
but not on them like they're going to be a winner. Because who determines if they're a winner? Them. As long as you're the example, or they see the example. They have to have example. You guys got tons of them. You got leadership. You got it. they don't go through numbers? Because they're trying to pick them. They're trying to figure out. Forget it. Go through the numbers. When you set yourself free like that, and within reason, I mean, you're not picking up a homeless person, you know what I mean? I mean, you're not saying, he said the numbers. No, I said normal numbers.
Normal numbers.
Okay? And the people that you think aren't going to do it will be the ones that do it. Why? Because you don't know what's up here. You don't know what's in here. And how do you figure that out? By watching. No one had to tell me to show up. Once they said show up, I showed up. First 3 people that hired me quit. I mentioned it. They quit. They're out of the business. One quit after 2 weeks. Let me know. Right. 2 weeks. Why? Why'd she quit? Because she was absolutely sure that I wasn't going to make it. Would you agree with that? When people quit that are above you, they're absolutely sure they're going to make no overrides off you.
Right.
So their quitting is not only a judgment of them, but it's a judgment of what they think about you.
Yep.
Right.
Not as a person, not they care about. They just think you ain't going to do it.
Yep.
So this is not going to work.
Yep.
They quit.
Yep.
I know. My upline gave me another person. 3 months later, they quit. Gave me 3 months later, she gave me to somebody else because I'm a district leader doing nothing, so I look like nothing. All I did right was what? Show up, watch, listen, learn, try to get better every time. So, and then another person quit. All 3 of those people had a $15+ million ticket. A lot of ticket. That they threw away. Because they knew one thing for sure. What was that? I wasn't going to do it. I got to tell you, it ain't going to happen, right? But maybe they're right about something. Not about me. And so it drove me to say, okay, I'm not going to take my opinion from somebody more screwed up than myself. About any subject, by the way. Any subject. Because, and by the way, when people screw up and aren't good at to have opinions, of course. And you're usually bad ones because they didn't fix the problem. Right? Okay, so anyway, we're going to keep working on this stuff. Okay, we get the next one. You guys, if you've got a question, I'm going to open up immediately, like if you have anything, because I want to make sure I address you guys, and that'll help the people in there as well. Okay, but I'm a person of hope. Trust me. Trust me. What the winners look like now is not what they look like then, but how they thought was what they were thought, actions, and then getting better. It's like doesn't change. If you go to the gym and don't get better, guess what you do?
You won't change.
You're not going to go to the gym.
No.
Right? If every time you go to the gym, you look the same way. See people dumb looking at their phone. That ain't going to happen. But do I see it all the time? If you're ever in a gym, that's why they're sitting on the machine. Holy crap, get off the machine. But they're not focused on really, really getting better. Because why? It's not important to them. Is that okay? That's okay, just don't sit on the machine. I'm okay with it. God bless them. All right? But same with people around you. If they don't want to do it, great. But you don't blow people off instantly. Right? I'm not saying just, oh, that's hard. I have no idea. The environment helps. All that helps. But you have to give 80% of your time, 80% of your time with the people that are doing 20% of the right things. What's the rule is that? Parental principle. And how do you know they're doing the right things? What will be the first step?
Show up.
If you can't show up, you're not going to make $100,000 a year. $1 million. You're not going to do it. Would you agree?
Yes.
Who's going to pay for that? Nobody. And neither are you. But you're going to invest time. You say, man, I've been doing this for 3 weeks or a month, and nobody does it. How many of you hired? 3. No shit. I mean, what do you think? You're going to have the first 3? Guess what I thought? The first 3 I hired, they're my guys. They were gone in an instant. First 20, 30. But people that hired people turn out to be millionaires here. Samir, I got a question for you. Of all you and Chad, how many directs that you hired personally are in your business?
County exchange.
Yeah, you can't count it, but I mean,
Meaning
exchange-
like, because it helps the example.
Yeah, sure.
But right now,
That are in the business.
maybe 1 or 2.
1 or 2. How many people you hired in the business?
Out of how many?
1,000.
Thousands.
Thousands.
So here's the rule. When you pick them, it's going to be rare that they're going to still, I hope they are. They're your friends, they're your best buddies. Hopefully it's not your wife or your husband, right? I mean, I'm not trying to do anything, right? But my point is, I've got 2,000 agents. Primerica paid me just almost $1.7 million in passive income. Okay? That's $140,000 a month, that's $5,000 a day. Well, I open my eyes, $5,000 a day. And the reason that happened was because of developing the mindset early that I have no idea what happens to human beings. My job is to bring them in and let systems sort them out. And it's the little things. Show up. What happens after that? They try to pick up the phone. You know, that's it. That's the little things. So you say, but my guy, he's my guy. I said, when's the last time he showed up? Well, he didn't show up last 2 weeks. He's dead.
Right.
He's no longer your guy. He's God's guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you're thinking about people, while you're thinking about people, beating the crap out of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what could I have done?
No.
It's not you. The vast majority of people who saw the business, you know how quickly they got it? Like that. I didn't need anybody. As a matter of fact, it didn't matter what anybody said to me, especially people that hadn't seen the business.
Yeah.
And how many people gave me an opinion that couldn't show up to the meeting? I learned, I don't care what they think. Because they don't have enough to even show up to tell me what I'm thinking.
Right.
So now I'm judging my future by someone else who can't even show up to think about the business. Holy crap, Bruce. They're just, boom, done. That's how you go through large numbers. And then, but obviously treat people fairly, do all the things. You don't blow them off, you know all these things. But if they're not in that seat, learning what you're learning, how can they grow them? Can you work out for somebody else?
No.
How bad do you want to work out? They need to work out. Can you lift the weights for them and they get benefit? No. That's what you're doing when you do that with people. Can you help them lock it out or do extra if you're over them and you're the trainer? You say, yeah, do it, man. Okay, but where do they have to be? In the gym. What else do they have to do? They have to pick up a weight. They have to move it. Would you agree with what I'm saying? He said, well, that makes total sense. But primary is the same. It's exactly the same. And the more you overthink it in the beginning, and you're thinking all the time, the more you overthink it, the more it becomes more complicated because now you add all these layers. At the end of the day, I can't be in shape. Okay, I can't. Just go back to simple, whatever your thing is, simple golf. I'm not a good golfer. How many times you play? Well, I played in a year. Oh, no shit. I'm not saying you should be a golfer, but I'm just saying. But that's what they say. They say it with such certainty. Well, I'm not good at it, but I could be good. Let me know when you ready. Just move.